When a person does not learn from past mistakes, they are doomed to make the same mistake again and again, expecting a different result. This has been the curse of my life by the actions of other people. Um, I was thinking about it. Um, when I first moved to Ackworth and moved into the shitty elementary school, they created the special ed department, and it had just been created. The teacher that was in there was pregnant, and she ended up giving birth and taking time off, and they gave us a new teacher who was a staunch, hard, like, redneck, like, Southern Belle type that just referred to the students in the room, me and every student in the room, as retards. And for some reason, this lady had an obsession. There's a thing called hyperfocus. It's when a person focuses on somebody specifically, and I was the only brown person in the room, so she had a hyper focus on whatever I was doing at all times. My mom gave me these Peep marshmallow hearts for Valentine's Day, and I brought them in, and the teacher basically told me I had to share my snack, because we had snack time, with everybody. I had to give everybody my snack, and I wasn't allowed to have it. And she went on a thing about how retards are bad, and she did refer to us as retards. Like, she was like, "You're retards," and back in my day, we killed retards. We didn't let retards walk around, and the only retard in the room was her, but she just referred to everybody in the room as retards. And yeah, she tried to force me to share my snack with everybody. It was explaining to me, "You're not gonna come in here with food," and blah. And this lady just harassed me every day I went into the special ed room. And then one day, basically, she got in trouble and then tried to explain to the room. She was teaching us resilience. What was going on was a lesson. She was trying to teach us how to deal with resilience, because everybody on the planet is going to be calling us retards the rest of our lives because our brains aren't as good as other people's, and we're marginally acceptable and all this other horse shit. And the only thing that came to my mind is I don't compare myself to other people anyways. I'm not an idiot. But she went on this, and it's a self-righteous rant. Whenever anybody is justifying cruelty to you, the rant is always self-righteous. I'm doing this for you. It is not a benefit to me. But then this lady doubled back to, like, right back after getting in trouble, went right back to calling us retards. And she, and this was, if that was supposed to teach us resilience, I am not an extremely, like, when I fuck up something, I fall into a depression that can last about a week. This is a normal, thing for me. The, to explain this phenomenon, when I went and broke that window, I fell into a depression because not only did it not work, I broke the window for no reason, and now I'm out $1,000 because I paid to fix it. After I wasn't arrested. That was depressing for me. So I didn't learn resilience from being called retard every day. But this is a thing with bastards. They will always try to tell you that their cruelty is helping you. And this lady also, because I had a comprehension, I have a comprehension disorder. And it's the same thing with learning this Pro C shit. I mentally cannot learn it. I get fucking frustrated, and it's like my brain is fucking being stupid. I used to get headaches, and fucking, it just hurt to fucking learn. And learning hurts, it's an actual fact. But for me to do reading comprehension of something I don't understand, my brain can't handle it. I just get pissed. That's all that happens. And fucking, this lady believed by calling me a retard and being nasty to me, she was somehow gonna magically get this disorder to start working. And I remember the day I snapped on her, and I was like, if you meet somebody that doesn't have legs, you just throw them out of the wheelchair and start beating them until they run, right? And then she was like, no, you wouldn't do that, that would be stupid, they don't have legs. I was like, I don't have that part of my brain! And I just snapped on her. And I remembered this complete look of stupid, and then her screaming at me, "You're the retard. I'm not stupid. You're the retard. You're the retard. I'm not stupid." So this kind of thing feeds into where we're at now, because Blondie's dumbass was like, "You need to stop hurting this guy," and then he said, "No, I have to hurt him more. You just got to hurt him in a right way that they turn into the person you want them to be." The universe put me taking down the church in my hands. It chose me for that purpose, because I am not a narcissistic fascist sack of shit that was handed everything. And you might go, well, Blondie probably had some type of arbitrary test that every loser church leader went through and passed, because the church makes sure that they get it. Okay. That is the bare bones truth. So the shit with me in this, Blondie goes, "You have to pass the test that I made up," because somehow he's more powerful and smarter than the universe itself, and potentially God for some reason. Just remember that conversation going over. "So I gave that to Bobby and you stole it from him." Blondie, "You didn't give me anything." "Well, Blondie, actually, I had a plan to make you a trillionaire, but you decided to get raped in the ass, drink lead, and then try to steal somebody else's life. Whew. Hey, you remember when you were married to Mary Bowberry? And then I sent you your true love out, the woman you're actually supposed to be with, but you were stuck with the wife that you stole from Bobby because you're like, I'm going to be him. Yeah, if you married that chick, you would have been a multi-trillionaire and the greatest dude on the planet. Too bad you're too busy stealing Bobby's glory to go get your own, idiot." And you just picture Blondie staring at the TV of the life he was supposed to live, but he fucked it up by being a retard. And just, you can fantasize about this shit all you want. But I mean, I did remember just recently Mary Bowberry told me herself she didn't actually love me. I don't even remember why she said that, but she actually said that to me, so I guess there's that. So maybe she's always actually just liked Blondie to begin with. Maybe she was lying when she was going on about hating entitled crackers. Maybe it was, sometimes women do that. They'll talk about guys they don't like. And the truth is, behind it, they actually like those guys that treat them like shit, and maybe Mary just is one of those girls that says she doesn't like that guy, but she actually likes that guy. Maybe she wanted me to act more entitled and more douchey. I don't know. Women can be complicated like that. I mean, people are complicated like that, not just women, but yeah. But this is the same situation where that teacher, where she believed being nasty to us was helping us, and I guess it's just a Christian thing to knife people in the back as many times as you can, and then go, this is good for you, this is good for you, and I guess I'm supposed to be going through some weird, stupid transformation, but I'm willing to bet, because Anal Eating Mummy God is like 100 years old, and Blondie is lived in an insular society where he's never actually experienced life, and I do mean the complexities of life. He has never experienced it, so therefore he doesn't know or understand what a learning disability is, or what a comprehension disability is, and he probably has no frame of reference for it. I bet to him it's completely alien. So in his brain, I'm a lazy, stupid asshole that's not trying hard enough. And in my brain, this is maximum effort, because my brain doesn't work correctly. The way I could explain this is, there was a dude I worked with at Ingalls. He was a really cool guy, and his father was a real piece of shit, and he used to always yell at him. This dude had 2 discs out in his back. And one day we were at Ingalls, and I was helping him unload the truck, and then he just fell over, and he was in pain. And like, I was like, dude, what's up with you? And he was like, my disc's out. And he was like shaking, and he was in pain. And he was in so much pain, he wasn't crying. He's just stiff as a board, not moving, in pain. And he told me to call an ambulance for him, and I called an ambulance. And his dad came in, like, oh, he's a pussy. And then about a month later, his dad was working on a Mustang, and the transmission fell out and landed on him. and it ended up putting a disc out in his back, and his dad was in a wheelchair. Now, his dad could walk, but the disc out in his back was so fucking painful for him. And mind you, my friend had 2 discs out. This guy had 1. He decided to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair because when the disc goes out in his back, it's that painful. And his father only could connect with his kid once he experienced the same kind of pain. Not exactly the same. Remember, my friend had 2 discs out. This guy had 1 disc out. Once he had that happen, this kid told me, he was like, I had a moment with my dad. He basically came in, was like almost like crying, and my dad told me, he's like, sorry. He's like, son, when you were playing baseball and you started screaming about the disc being out in your back and I kept calling you a pussy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what that was like. I didn't know. And he's like, yeah, and he's like, his dad literally just sits in a wheelchair and fucking wheels around the house and he doesn't try to do anything and he's completely crippled because the disc is out in his back. And he was like, this is the first time in my life my dad has ever showed me any type of humanity. And I was just like, isn't it amazing that the only way to get people to be human beings is to injure them in some fucking way? And I would argue this is exactly what Blondie needs. That thing where I go on about, I want to beat him to death. And Blondie needs somebody to do that to him. He has to feel that. That has to be an experience he is forced to have. He's not going to learn anything otherwise. That is the only way he can learn. He doesn't understand what a learning comprehension disorder is. Okay. He has no business, and once again, this church, everything, this test, they have no business testing me. They have no business doing any of this shit. They have no business seeing if I can or, and think about this. What kind of a fucking test is, can you file Pro C? Do you know how to do that? Like, and to make things worse, the Florida DIY website doesn't even have the Pro C shit I have. It's strictly for, like, family stuff. You kind of have to guess at what you might need and might not need, I think. I don't know, because I don't understand how the legal system works, okay? Fucking... This arbitrary test, and the fact that I have a comprehension disorder that compounds it, like... I don't know. Like, it is the same thing as the special ed room. Keep hurting him until he does it. Just keep stabbing him, he'll do it. No. Because it's not there. Like a man that has no legs. Or in the special ed room, once again, we had those weird psychology books, and one of them was The Blind Guy. And the blind guy was this dude that basically this teacher comes in one day. It has these cards with colors on them. And everybody in the room, when she holds up a blue card, they say blue. Everybody in the room, when she holds up a red card, says red. And then she realizes this one jerk in the back of the class isn't talking. He's not saying the color of the cards. So she proceeds to start paddling him. She hits a paddle with holes drilled in it and starts whooping his ass again and again and again. And then when that doesn't work, she starts beating him. And she keeps beating him and showing him the colored cards to his face, and he just screams and cries, and she just keeps hurting him. And then they get the principal involved, and they put him in this weird room that's kind of like the Matilda Chokey room, I guess, and they torture him. And then the parents come at the end of the day and go, he's blind, he can't see, why are you doing that to him? He's never seen colors in his life. And the teacher and principal are like, in shock. Like, that is the kind of unnatural cruelty, and narcissists don't have guilt or remorse, so they don't understand what cruelty is. That is why they should never be in charge of anything, because they don't know self-regulation, they don't know self-discipline. Okay. I think I could explain this all I want, but the truth is nobody cares. And I think that's just a general side effect. Like, I find peace at mind that Mary did tell me at one point she didn't love me because I really thought I really fucked something up here and I thought I almost had something. I guess, that just be like that, you know? But I mean, there's other fat chicks and there's other people in the world. I've fallen in love probably 10 or 15 times in my life. The puppy dog love and the, like, connecting with somebody on an emotional level love. So I've done that before. It's part of being an adult, not a 2-year-old like Blondie, but whatever. Yeah.